everybody! Welcome to It's a Long Story, a thrice weekly campaign set in the beautiful and wonderful and terrifying and exciting and colorful and other words homebrew world of Imea. Specifically, we're all kind of we're not all trapped in North Imea. I'll be clear on that. But we are so we are in Imea, specifically with our wonderful friends, the Mongoose Crew. Before you guys say hi and wave, we're going to point out right now we have these new digs right here that we're very excited about. So you'll see Mongoose Crew's right below us. It says it right there. So hopefully it's looking as good for you as it is for me right now.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yes, thank you, Brandon. You are awesome. You are killing it. Cool. All right, cool. I'm a little gamey. I don't know why, but that's all right. Well, we'll deal with it. Cool. So without further ado, we're going to kind of get into the space of where we left off, which is very tricky to do right now, as we're every single one of us that are here right now are in different parts of Imea. So it'll be very fun and exciting to kind of figure out where to put ourselves. So to kind of give us the idea of where we left off, normally we have Lorianne doing that. But Lorianne is not, unfortunately. She is. We know where she is, but she's not here.
Nailed
she's.
it. You nailed it.
We do know where she is.
Not unfortunately, she is not here.
Right. Not unfortunately. That's what I meant. Not unfortunately, she's not here. She's with her beloved Ryan Key from Yellow Card. Lorianne, if you're watching this, we understand your priorities, I guess.
I bet she thinks she's the only one.
And if we could find her now, things would get better.
You clearly left this town and ran forever.
Oh, we could just keep
on
going.
Milo's retiring. Bye, guys.
And that's my cue.
And there it is. Okay, all right. Let's get into this thing. Thankfully, Kayla has been nice enough to jump in to kind of let us know where we left off. Kayla, take it away.
So I grouped everybody's sections together since, we kind of went back and forth. We started out with Saren and Gerard. Saren was riding down the mountain on the back of the hill giant, taking damage while doing so. When they get to the bottom, she manages to convince the giant to let them rest so that Gerard can take a breath. And then her and Gerard go off to hunt for food. She's shooting at this creature, and it turns around and it has a lizard face with yellow spikes, and it's about the size of a sun bear. She takes it down, and when she's sneaking towards it, Gerard starts to growl and runs off. She decides to chase him and finds a river with another moorbounder drinking from it. First she thinks it's Gerard, and it is not. She sees Gerard hiding in the reeds and goes to hide with him. She tells Gerard not to attack the moorbounder, as it's just like him and just trying to get a drink, but when Gerard looks at her, he has a look that Saren's never seen from him before. Go to Milo and Cavish. They're watching a giant skull emerge from the water. Milo knows that it's Duchess and runs towards her, but Cavish starts shooting fire. Milo tries to explain to him, while him and Celestra are trying to attack, that it's his friend, but then Milo does a badass move that pushes Cavish back and stuns him. And then Milo's able to use Know Your Truth on himself and show that he's serious about Duchess being his friend. Celestra, there's too many Celestes.
I know, there's a lot. I apologize.
Celestra transports them all back to the campsite, where they're able to walk over and meet Duchess. Milo then discovers, through recounting his favorite book, that Celestra is most likely a phoenix. Over to Wilbur. He's with Cerilius on the Palatial Reef. Wilbur's chewing him out for not protecting the wombats that he gave consciousness to. He tells Wilbur that he was sent there, that Brumhilda is at the gates of Celestia, and while it's difficult to force someone out of the gates of heaven, he did it, but at a cost. They start to see fire and stars falling through the sky. There's also an explosion, that Wilbur can tell is about 750 miles away. Cerilius says that this event that they're witnessing took place 150 years ago, and that means they're currently in the past. He goes to leave and dive into the water, but he sees Cerilius trying to catch a crab and failing. Wilbur knows that he'll die if he stays, so Wilbur tells him that they won't leave him there and casts a globe of breathable air around Cerilius. And Wilbur can obviously breathe underwater now, so they're going to try to find Anoria together. And we have Guar and Eldrin, who are still in Farah with the Aarakocra. Eldrin's trying to go to sleep, and Guar's trying to explain to her how he wants to talk to the Aarakocra and talk them into fighting alongside all of us. Eldrin says that she's going to prepare a spell if the Alliance proposal doesn't go as planned. Guar starts to meditate, and his mind goes to Celeste. The whole room's white, and he can see himself kneeling. He hears more soldiers quickly and follows the voices of his physical body. He sees 6 angelic beings standing over what he discovers is Cerilius, and past them are the Golden Gates of Celestia. He moves forward and sees 2 more figures holding Broomhilda. He sees the halberd at Cerilius' feet and moves to grab it, and ends up holding a ghostly halberd. He throws it and tries to jam the gate, but it just goes right through the solar that's holding Broomhilda, or the one that's opening the gates. And then Cerilius stands up and throws the actual halberd into the gate, and a huge burst of energy slams the angel's back. Broomhilda goes flying, and Guar rushes forward to grab her. Joe, your message is in front of my notes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Apologies. I am listening.
So Cerilius throws the halberd, and Guar rushes to Broomhilda, and his body starts to glitch out. She sees him and says, "I'll find you, stay safe," before fully blipping away.
Is that everybody?
Yep.
And Eldrin was trying to take a nap.
Yes, and Eldrin was trying to take a nap.
I'm just trying to level up. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Clinton just let me know. I did have everybody turn down a little bit lower than they normally did from last time, so we just upped that, and it sounds so much better. So that's kind of what I was doing on that side. So, cool. One thing. Actually, let's say we'll do the same thing as last time, and we'll probably do this at least one more time, as it'll take a while for you guys to kind of be able to pull yourselves closer together, assuming that's still the plan. But we'll have everybody roll a non-combat initiative and go ahead and put it in the notes when you're ready. Actually, there's only 4 of us today. You can just call it out.
10.
10, okay.
So 10. I'll roll again.
16.
16.
I can roll again. I literally. What the
Every
heck?
week.
Every
That's
week.
funny. There are 20 numbers and there's 4 of us. How does this happen?
Why did I just roll a fucking 10? I can't.
I re-rolled and I got a 9. So.
Okay. Cool.
Assuming we all have different, like, plus whatever for initiative, too.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so I believe what did Miranda, what'd you get?
For my reroll, I got a 4.
4. Okay, cool. Got it. That's funny. I think that's kind of exactly how I want it. I think somewhere around there. So I have 16 for Milo, 10 for for
Saren.
Guar.
Oh.
For Saren. Okay, and then Guar, what'd you get?
9.
9. Cool. Awesome. I'm just realizing I didn't change the labels to you guys. I apologize. I'll try to do that if there's time. But on the stream, they don't see that. They see your normal names, the banners, and everything. Cool. Jesus, I just lost my train of thought again. So it's Milo.
Milo, Saren, Guar, Wilbur.
Awesome. Great. There's 4 of you. This should not be that hard. For some reason it is. One more time. Milo, Saren. No. Milo, Guar.
No, Milo, Saren,
Milo,
Guar,
Saren,
Wilbur.
Guar. Yeah.
Okay, Milo, Saren, Guar. I know Saren rolled a 10. That's why I was like, there's no way Saren's next after. But yeah. Okay, got it.
Madison Square Garden.
My second one was a 14.
Which is
Say.
Madison Square Garden Witches. Got it. Here we go. New band.
You know that old phrase.
Cool. So coming to Milo. So first off, just a little bit of kind of like up top. We're gonna try to play this off as best we can in the space that we're in right now. But the weird thing is, at this point, you're full in the space of our own player characters in other campaigns right now. Actually, I believe Milo is Milo, you're the first. So which is actually kind of cool for the Wednesday campaign. It's very nice. So some of this is going to be is going to probably feel a little rushed. Obviously, feel free to ask any questions as you go along. And any small changes, feel free to jump into. But I'd say big changes would have big effects. So, so coming into where we have Milo. So Milo, you are on the edge of the kind of on this like very like rocky sort of beach, hanging out with Duchess and Cavish. You can see that you're kind of just reconnecting with Duchess as Cavish is kind of just looking on. I would say eventually, Milo, you see Cavish actually kind of like walk away a little bit. Not like he's gonna like full on walk away, just like kind of like moving about like 10 feet or so. And you see him kind of like he puts his staff on the ground and just kind of like almost looks like he's probably facing he's not facing necessarily opposite to you, but just a little bit off from you, and just seems to be kind of like staring right at the staff. You see him eventually nod, mutter something that you can't hear under his breath right now, and then you see him kind of like come back, look up. Okay. Well, there is interesting change of events. My skills are needed. I would love to have you join me, as I believe you would also be of use here. There are some people that are in need of help.
Yeah. Can Duchess come? And Milo's gonna turn to Duchess and like rub a tentacle and like Can you go inland? Are you cool being away from water?
That's a good question. I think you see like the kind of like eye stalks kind of like shrink in a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely in like the shy sort of frame. I'd say it's not a. You don't know for sure, but there's a good chance that Duchess has never been out of water. So there is a kind of like weirdness with that. But Duchess kind of just like if you walk forward, Duchess seems to kind of follow you a little bit. So you get the feeling with that Duchess can follow you for sure. And so Cavish goes, of course, I don't see why not. All creatures are welcome in the grove.
The grove. We got fresh water at least. We'll be fine.
Yes. Did you talk to Cavish about the grove at all yet?
Yeah, I said that was the last place I was.
Cool. He's fantastic. And the great thing is, we're only about an hour away, so no need to teleport.
Awesome.
So now you learn full on, like Milo, you poofed an hour away from the spot that you were in.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. I love that. Cool. So as you guys kind of travel through the forest, you notice that Duchess is definitely kind of having I wouldn't say Duchess is necessarily having a hard time, as Duchess is just gigantic, but definitely is making some noise and some changes to the scenery as she kind of continues to kind of like move with her like kind of scuttly little legs forward, pushing against like the openings of trees and having to kind of like you hear the snapping of trunks as they're kind of like being uh, pulled from their roots to the side. Cavish doesn't seem to mind, but yeah, it's definitely loud. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that noise. I imagine any conversation that happens between you two is just yelling.
Yeah. And then yeah, Milo's going to like ride her as Cavish kind of leads us. And like sitting crisscross applesauce up on top of the skull, and as they like are crashing through this forest, Milo's gonna like pat the skull and say, "It's okay. Hill giants come through here all the time. They're used to the noise."
You're saying this to Duchess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way Cavish hears that.
No, yeah.
Cool. Great. As you guys, so yeah, a small change, but definitely not a big factor. So as you are continuing to kind of move through the trees, after about 50 minutes or so, you start to kind of see a little bit of a break as you see an open sort of space about 60 feet ahead of you. Continuing to move through, you see that there's a cluster of trees that do look to be like a little bit more like that are a little bit closer knit together. So you see Cavish kind of like walking forward, not noticing the space of where that's of the problem that might cause. Continues to kind of walk forward and I'd say kind of blurs out from the space of moving past the trees into the open field. So I think at this point you kind of have a choice. You can kind of sit with Duchess as Duchess tries to kind of push through all of that, or you can assume that Duchess is eventually going to get through and just follow Cavish out.
Yeah, Milo's gonna climb down and say, "Duchess, you find. I'll see you in there. Find an easier way to get in if you can." And then he follows Cavish.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you see you see the like pushing between the heavier sort of trunks, giving a couple of goes, and you're like, she's fine, she'll get it. You move through the trees into a very welcoming and comforting sort of space. There's a part from, and actually Milo, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
24.
24. Awesome. Milo, what are you expecting to see as you kind of come out to the grove?
Coming back to the grove, last thing he saw was pink silence. I think he's expecting to see kind of remnants of fire, of all the fire and all of the like all of the fighting that happened in the grove.
Okay, cool, awesome. So as you kind of push off to the space, knowing that you're going to be kind of like looking at a space that is less than paradise, you're pleasantly surprised. You look out into the field, and with a 24, you definitely see there's some there's some not scar marks. What am I trying to say? Scorch marks. You see some scorch marks kind of in the open field where those like fireballs kind of hit in your head hours before. You see no signs of giant bodies at all. You don't see any sort of sign of the knights whatsoever. You also even like notice like with the farm, like some of the farmland actually kind of got burnt up, and you can see that it's actually, there's an open space where the fireball kind of hit, but you don't see like a scorch mark there. You see kind of like fresh, like newly toiled soil. Toil. Oh, that's hard to say. Toiled soil. Um, Also with the 24, you see kind of further out, like kind of closer to the pond area where that waterfall would sit. You see, once again, you've seen this, but you saw this. Uh, I'd say the morning that you woke up, you see that same sort of structure that has been like crumbled and broken. You can see water is still kind of trickling down in a space that doesn't quite look like these serene waterfalls what you'd seen before the altercation. But you see, standing near that space looks to be a group of people that look odd. You see some blue colorations. Actually, I think for a second, there's a good chance that you think that you might see Tritons up above, ahead of you.
Do I see any wombats doing work?
You do not. You don't see any wombats out right now at this time.
Okay.
I think you also notice something too. I think at this point, yeah, because 24 is pretty good. You also notice that in the sun itself doesn't make sense where it is in the sky. If it's been, a certain, time of day based on what you think it is, doesn't look right.
Yeah, because it should. I mean, yeah, Milo would be assuming it's sometime afternoon.
Yeah, it should be like late afternoon, I think, at this point, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Cool. What do you do?
Yeah, so Milo's going. Milo's gonna take. Milo's going to take Cavish's lead, but he'll walk up to the group if that's where Cavish is going, and see what we need to do.
First thing that you notice is you see Riley in her humanoid form, kind of standing to greet you and Cavish. But Cavish kind of like making the space there. You see Cavish and Riley kind of embrace a big hug. You notice that Riley seems to be in like somewhat of a good mood. I'd say with the 24, you can tell, like, you see kind of like the normally like very well kept hair seems to be a little bit like frazzled more than normal. You can tell that she's definitely probably didn't get as much sleep, depending on how she sleeps, as she has in the past. But she does seem to be kind of like having that kind of like warm sort of smile. Definitely not in the like. Actually, I think a noticeable thing is that like she's not in a space where like she has this like perpetual flirtiness to her. That is very gone right now. So you do notice that. But as you walk up with a 24, let me make sure I kind of name all these people. First thing you see a woman that I think upon closer inspection you notice is a little tall to be a Triton. Has that same sort of similar sort of blue skin, a very light blue. Honestly, very similar to Eldrin's. You see there's this very long white, slightly wavy hair that kind of descends past the shoulders. Is not wearing any armor, just kind of has this, actually has this very like bright golden dress that is sparkling in the sunlight. You see her kind of like looking at you a little questioningly. I think they all are kind of looking at you like perplexed in a space that's just a little bit past like, oh, a newcomer. You see another figure that has the same sort of complexion as this woman with the white hair, except in a totally different shade of green. Very similar in the smoothness, kind of all throughout. You notice that he's kind of wearing this like open vest, no shirt underneath. Definitely has a bunch of necklaces that are kind of like marked across. I see like shark's teeth, things like that. You see this heavy sort of mane of hair that is like a kind of a mixture between black and green. It almost kind of like looks like seaweed in a way. You, I think, with him. Oh, ironically, with him, he's also carrying a trident. So there's some like confusion here, I think, for sure, as you've only seen one person with a trident, and they were also a different color. You see a off kind of in the distance, kind of in his own sort of space. He might not have noticed you just yet, but would be noticing you pretty quickly. You see you see what would be the D&D version of legitimately Cowardly Lion. Like huge mane of brown hair that comes from the back and goes straight down, and then towards the front as well. You see ears that are kind of like floppy down to the side. Definitely some sort of form of like a feline humanoid creature. Big kind of eyes, but also very broad shouldered. Standing probably close to I believe 6'6", like 6'5", 6'6". Heavily armored. You notice
if Guar was a cat.
Yeah, if Guar was a cat, 100%. And actually, I apologize. You actually don't see any armor up top. You do see like heavy armor on the bottom. So I forgot about that. I think you see a very large sword kind of set to his back, and that's actually the first thing you see as he's probably looking away from you. Let me stop and take a breath. That's a lot. It's a whole party of people. So let's see. That was 3. You see a figure that I would say not necessarily gender specific. You see rather kind of like feminine looking face, but very like short hair that kind of like stands a little bit up on it, kind of like a crew cut, I guess, in a way. You see the eyes themselves have this like perpetual eyeshadow around them that you I think you just somehow know or eventually will assume is not actual eyeshadow. Very pale skin, wearing armor that is jet black, probably concerning at first for sure. They look very happy to see you though. Not in a familiar way, just in a space
like relief.
Yeah, I think honestly probably like with carrying the 24, I'll tell you straight up, it looks like they are enjoying the idea that there's another outsider. That's what you immediately get. Your powers of perception and wisdom on that and the insight stuff are so far beyond what the average person is seeing. So I'd say you definitely notice that. And then I think we have one more, right? Yes. Okay, cool. And actually, I'll say the last one for the introductions. Because you do notice this whole crew, but there's a lot to kind of look at. So coming forward, you hear Cavish is kind of talking. Where are my manners? Cavish introduces himself to everybody and gives them all a hug. You notice that as you are hearing the names secondhand, you can obviously introduce yourself and go through those names again if you wanted to. But you hear Ianthe is the woman with the very pale blue skin, white hair. Accepts the hug graciously. Adim is the next person who kind of I think your eyebrows raised a little bit at that. You see him kind of go in for the handshake, but then accepts the hug.
That's the green one?
It is the green one, yes. It is a weird connection between Cavish and the other two. I actually say you've been of the world for a little bit. I don't think you've encountered anyone that is of this race, but go ahead and roll me a history check anyway, just to see.
16.
With a 16, Looking at the skin, you like looking at the skin, you would assume Triton, but then you see just the muscle structure, the taller sort of stature. You've seen literally hundreds of Tritons at this point.
Mhm.
All of them have been around 5 feet. These figures are both standing significantly taller than that, I think. Um, you remember noticing, I think, in a in a flashback to a moment that didn't happen in RP, but we'll say happened during the, is that you noticed another blue skin creature when you were in Eisenheim, and like pointed out to Eldrin. Eldrin immediately just responded with water genasi, not a Triton.
Ah.
So making the connection there, and also recognizing that that Cavish, being a being of some sort of fire elemental energy, there is a very weird sort of connection with them. You actually see Ianthe and Adim both look uncomfortable in the hug, and you see Cavish, like after like hugging Adim, has like a weird shiver as he continues forward and tries to ignore it, but yeah.
Mhm.
The slightly smaller. I didn't mention that they were smaller, but slightly smaller. I think like 5'2" or 5'3". I'll have to look it up for sure. I'd say humanoid looking figure, but like with the dark eyes. Introduces themselves as Aaron, and accepts the hug, but same sort of awkward, probably even more awkward. You recognize Aaron as most likely someone who doesn't get used to being like isn't a big fan of touching. And then who did I miss before this person?
Lion.
Cowardly
Oh, the
lion.
lion. I would say actually, you just hear this other creature that I haven't described yet, kind of point over and say in a very like interesting sort of heavy accent. That one is Tishian there. And looking at the figure that just said that, as he introduces himself as Slagtan, you notice some interesting sort of marks of Slagtan looks humanoid, has like very tan skin, a little bit shorter, has this like the shock of red hair that kind of just goes like straight back. But you notice Slagtan has some interesting sort of qualities to him. You notice that his face seems to be like slightly elongated, still fully humanoid. But you notice some like small canine like hints of like a canine sort of racial feature. You see like heavy hair on the forearms coming up, on the hands as well. You see how Slagtan kind of carries himself is a little bit closer to the ground, like in almost like a caveman sort of fashion. But yeah, you notice this as Slagtan introduces himself, and I would say, Milo, this person looks really interesting to you for what I assume to be obvious reasons.
Mhm.
But yeah, how do you introduce yourself to this group?
Yeah, once Cavish is done hugging everybody, Milo's gonna kind of step forward and say, well, while Cavish is hugging everyone, Milo's gonna look over at Riley and say, like with his hand on his quarterstaff, and say, Riley, are these people are cool?
Yes, they're new recruits, we'll say. Not really. Sorry. I just maybe we'll see.
Okay, and then Milo's gonna step kind of into a central spot for the group and say, "Hi everyone, I am Milo Underdale."
You hear a chorus of hello, hello, hi, 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 hello. In different, very different variances in pitch. You see Ianthe kind of extend her hand out to shake yours. Extends it down to you, obviously. Milo, it is good to meet you.
Hi, nice to
Uh,
meet you too.
my name is Ianthe, and then kind of just goes down the list, kind of explaining names. Um,
And once it gets
yeah,
to the lion, the feline featured one, Milo's gonna listen extra hard because he did not hear quite so clearly the first time he was introduced.
yeah. That was the yeah. As the lion comes up, he says, "Hi, my name is Titian. Nice to meet
Titian.
you."
That is an interesting name. I love it.
Thank you. My parents gave it to me.
I think
Your
that's
name
it.
was
I think
Milo.
that's it. Milo. Yes, Milo Underdale.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And he's gonna kind of he's gonna follow down the line and ask, so what Cavish, why am I here? Why am I back here?
Well, Titian chooses to answer for
Yeah.
this moment. To be honest with you, we're kind of in a pickle ourselves, and we're hoping to gain the help of your friend here to help us help some people who are down on their luck out, and uh, not necessarily in exchange, but recognizing that it'd be good for us to be able to kind of help each other out. Uh, Once we are done with that, I hear there's some people that you might need help. We might need to help find some wombats.
Yeah, I got some got a lot of got a lot of people I gotta find. This is a moment where Milo's going to stare off and realize like just how truly lost he is without his group, that he just has no way of knowing how to look for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, at this point you're like, yeah, you're connecting with that space, and also seeing that, like, again, just kind of looking at like the giant bodies that I would say you probably notice that there is still probably like a slight imprint in the grass.
Mhm.
Not in like a perfect body line, but like you see, like, so there's like that did happen, but they're not there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe this group moved them, you're not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, Milo's going to like snap out of his thought hole and kind of gesture around, and this place looked a lot different when I left it. Did y'all clean this up?
Oh, well, that was Riley and also Aaron over here. And Aaron kind of just like nods. Yes. Well, I mean, it was Riley kind of directed me, and I was able to move the corpses further along in the process. But I mean, it took all night to do so.
Oh,
That's
gross.
that's jarring
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. Um, Milo's gonna take a moment and look at Riley and how long have I been gone from the grove?
Oh,
Bless you, Riley.
I don't know if I caught it in time, but I muted
You got
like
the
right at
beginning of it.
the middle of it. Yeah. Whoops. Um. Riley goes, "Oh,
Riley has a problem with pollen.
yeah, it's a big pollen problem. Oh my gosh, new character idea. Uh, Riley goes, well, it's I guess it's been at least it's been over 24 hours. I would say a day and a half. So, or no, I guess it's 2 days.
Oh, um, hmm.
How long did you think it was?
He's gonna motion over to Cavish. Well, I've been with Cavish for like 5 hours, so 6. Thought it'd been like 6 hours. It seems I lost some time.
You see Riley. Riley's face kind of like goes from the like kind of kind smile to a face of just confusion, and you see eyebrows kind of raise a little bit at the thought. Well, I guess that puts us in more of a pickle than what we thought. We're not just looking in one dimension, or 2 dimensions, I guess. 3 dimensions. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We gotta go back, Marty. Yeah, Milo's gonna say I mean I could swear it was like I was here and there was the rain and then it was silent and we heard the voice. And
oh,
then
you heard that voice too?
Y'all heard you guys heard the voice?
Yeah, we all heard, we didn't know what to make of it. It wasn't to be honest with you, we were in the middle of actually of trying to kind of name our new companion over there, and points to the very far distance where you see a creature that is slightly bigger than you. Looks to be 3 dogs until you kind of blink and recognize that it is 1 dog with 3 heads.
Ah,
As it is a Cerberus.
nice.
So yeah, we were naming our friend there, which if you're interested, it's Danzig, it is Bale, and Aaron. What? Anthony, what was the other one? Anthony looks up as I am looking through my notes. Danzig, Bell, and Gizmo. She goes, Gizmo.
Well,
yeah. So we were naming the dog, so we didn't really have time to really think about what that voice was talking about. But sorry that happened.
Yeah, that's fair. If you were wondering what that voice was, it was yelling at me and my friends.
Shit.
So, what do we? Now that I know I've lost,
So wait, you said you and your friend. So that so Wilbur, you know Wilbur.
Yeah, I know Wilbur. Miranda, Wilbur doesn't consider Milo a friend.
She said, "Don't mention me. Don't mention me."
You don't know anyone.
Milo's not good at that.
No, there's no reason why Milo would not say that, right? Like,
yeah. Especially if Riley trusts these people. But yeah, Milo's gonna say, yeah, Wilbur, and I had a couple of other friends that were helping protect the grove.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Yeah, we heard the name Wilbur. We were like, well, like wombats don't talk, and then we came here, and you see at this point in time, you actually see other wombats starting to kind of like wake up, stretch, as their nocturnal bodies are just getting into a space of them being able to kind of wake up for the day. And you do see that there, I think there's a point of like calmness, and you go like, okay, cool. Not everyone poop.
Yeah. Yeah, Milo, as the wombats are coming over, Milo is going to is going to like just say, "Oh, thank God." Riley, how many are left here?
We lost about there are about 24 that are missing.
God.
Not including your friends.
Yeah.
Sorry, but including Wilbur.
Yeah.
Who is your friend?
Assumedly. And yeah, I was gonna say, oh wow, so yeah, we have some furry ones to find.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have to try to evacuate an entire village. If you are willing to help us out there, there's a lot of people that look like this is Tishian talking to the big lion dude, Leonin. There's a lot of people that look like me that are. I'm pushing the southern accent a little bit too much. I'm sorry, Matt, if you're watching. There's a lot of people that look like me that are bad news. So if you come across another one of me, just ask them, hey, are you bad news? And if they say yeah, then just stay away.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, so I mean, I guess it would help to kind of know the game plan that we're looking at.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm game to help. And he's gonna. I've said his name 4 times tonight, and it's not in my head.
It's okay.
The Fire Genasi.
Cavish.
Cavish, yeah. He's gonna motion over to Cavish and say, I assume his presence means he's game to help. So.
Yes, let's all hear it together. And you see yeah, I think you see probably Ianthe kind of step forward and go, well, here's what we know. And with that, we're going to pause you there.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Very nice, Milo. That went so much smoother than no, sorry, not smooth. It went as smooth as I hoped and assumed it would be. So that was great.
That was almost a compliment. Thank you.
I don't want to give you a full-fledged compliment. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, Madison Square Garden. It is now Saren. So, jumping over to Saren. So we are fully doing a full wipe transition, going over to Saren, who is now kind of sitting, kind of crouching down to the ground in between these reeds that are covering most of your face, as you and Gerard are staring at this other moorbounder who is not acknowledged or seen, seem to have seen you at all. And I would say is kind of just like patiently kind of looking around, kind of like takes like one paw step sort of forward, and you can kind of feel Gerard kind of like do like a weird jittery sort of thing of like in the space of like, what do I do? Do I go forward? What do I do? I mean, you see Gerard consistently kind of like looking back at you.
So when Gerard first looks at her and she notices like the weird look, she just kind of gives him a look.
Oh, you cut out there. That's weird. Try it again.
But she's like looking at Gerard and she looks back over at the moorbounder.
Yeah. Let's give me 1 second. Let me check one more thing. I could hear most of what you said. So
As I look to the left.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not actually even hearing any like background noise from you at all right now at this point. So I'm wondering why it's doing that. Let's get crazy. Let's turn the noise gate off. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so she looks back at Gerard and she's like, she whispers, Gerard, do you have a crush on the moorbounder? And
You hear a sort of weird, disgruntled sort of sound, of which you see the other moorbounder completely turn around, growl, and take about 10 steps back.
Gerard, do you wanna go try to say hi? Maybe. And she kind of she steps back and just says, go slow. Just walk out from the bush really slow.
You see, okay. Go ahead and roll a performance check for Gerard, please.
Oh God.
He's just straight up like Pepe Le Pew right now.
Mm-hmm.
And like the other moorbounder is on alert for sure.
What would performance be? Just
charisma. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a -3. But I rolled good. So 15?
15 is pretty good.
Not bad.
Cool. You definitely as you see Gerard kind of like start to kind of move out. It's hard to show a difference between calmly walking and stalking as a cat-like being. Like the shoulders move in the same way, you know. So you see yeah, as you continue to hear Lady in Red in the background, you see Gerard kind of like walk up slowly, and you hear this very loud sort of growl from the moorbounder, from the other moorbounder. Did we? I think we just said the other moorbounder is male. Cool.
Sure.
You said that, so yeah, so cool.
So
you hear a much deeper growl from the other moorbounder, as you notice at this point that the tusks themselves kind of like pointing back to that kind of shows that most likely this moorbounder is slightly older. Yeah, so you hear that growl, doesn't move, as I would say Gerard at first kind of like freezes in place and kind of looks back. You see ooh baby, you see the moorbounder kind of sniff in the air, and all the stealth checks in the world I don't think will hide your scent, Saren. So you see the other we'll say the stranger, we'll call for now. The stranger looks up at or we'll say the wild moorbounder. The wild moorbounder kind of looks past Gerard and can kind of see, I think probably locks eyes on you eventually through the reeds, and full on rushes. Go ahead and roll a roll initiative for we'll say for you and Gerard, I guess. But.
Okay. I always forget. His is just Dex, right?
Yes.
Okay. 17 for Gerard and 22 for Saren.
Okay, cool. Saren, you see a giant moorbounder, bigger than the moorbounder that you were with, come and rush out at you.
So Saren, she steps out and she just kind of puts her hands up as if like Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, like taming the velociraptors, like it's okay. But she does it with her scimitar in the one hand, and can she kind of like, she's not gonna try to fight back yet, but she's gonna like put her scimitar up and just like stop, it's okay.
Yeah, I think like, so we'll say that you're taking like the defense action.
Yeah.
But in the space of really trying to kind of give that sort of persuasion of like, I'm not here to hurt you. Cool. I'm gonna say, well, here's I'll give you a choice. If you want to take the defense action, it'll be a persuasion check with disadvantage. If you want to drop the scimitar and just fully put your hands up, I will say it's a straight roll. Your call.
Then if she had to use it, would it be like an action to pick it up kind of thing?
No, it'd be using an action to pick it up, but I would say that your turn is spent convincing this thing that you do not mean. You're using your action instead of just saying. So if you're using your action to try to convince it that you're not doing that, then I would say you roll a straight roll. If you're trying to just do your defensive sort of space, which for the just a reminder, taking a taking the dodge action. I don't know why I call it defensive. I guess I'm in a totally different game. Taking the dodge action just means there's disadvantage on the attack for you.
Okay. Yeah, she'll drop her scimitar.
You drop your scimitar. Straight roll. Persuasion.
Okay. That is +3. 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, 9's not gonna beat it. So you see the wild moorbounder just continues to actually push forward. So 15 feet meets 10 feet, which is right in front of Gerard. I will say, actually, I would say it's 10 feet from Gerard, because it has enough distance that it can close the distance to actually come around you. So it is now Gerard's turn. So Gerard is 10 feet away from this moorbounder.
I think Gerard would also kind of take like a defensive stance, I'm not exactly sure what mechanically he can do.
Would he be trying to defend you?
Yes, but also at the same time kind of like in his own little way trying to show that he doesn't want to hurt the other moorbounder, but he's also a moorbounder, so
right,
probably would not come off any differently.
I think with that, I think the 9 is going to carry over there. I think, honestly, because you're but I will say you do get the disadvantage. You do get the disadvantage on attacks against you, in that. So cool. So Gerard continues kind of tries to move in front of you in the space, but I think just kind of puts, I don't know what cats do to say it's not something I think it normally comes up. It's okay, it's all right. I think if Gerard was just batting at this wild moorbounder,
just batting at it with no claws.
With claws in, that would not be good. But I think it makes sense with the mechanics that we're working with. So let's go ahead and say that's what Gerard does. Gerard just comes up and just swats at the other moorbounder. The moorbounder continues to kind of come towards you and goes to attack you. Disadvantage. Wow, that's bad. Okay, you're done. First attack takes a huge swipe at you as Gerard, over the shoulder of Gerard. Misses you with that first attack, goes to attack again. Oh, geez, wow, it's a good thing with disadvantage. One of them was a nat 20. The other one was a natural 15. So 1 second. It's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you got it. So first attack, kind of is the full force of the body of this moorbounder, and that one gets you right in the face for 8. 16 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
It is now your turn.
So she is going to can she attack with her scimitar now that she's dropped it? That was kind of my question before.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take in the beginning of your action. You're using an object to pick it up. She's
short and close to the ground.
Yeah.
She's not that far from it. So she will grab her scimitar and just kind of slash into like let's say like the shoulder of the Moorbounder. Like she's not going for its face. She's not trying to kill it. She's just trying to get it to stop. 21 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll that damage. And you definitely have sneak attack.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Gosh, what is that now? 66. So many dice.
So many dice.
So many dice and so much math. 4, 10, 14, 31, 35.
35. Okay, cool. That first hit, you managed to kind of get right into the shoulder, and you see that like kind of. Did you say you're using the scimitar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that scimitar you kind of cut down, and you managed to kind of like slash open the shoulder, but aiming for the shoulder. Definitely opens up. You see blood kind of splurt.
So she does that, and then she is going to use her bonus action to disengage, and she's going to step back again and just like kind of put her scimitar, like hold her scimitar up. Like I'm done fighting, but I'm going to protect myself.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Awesome. It is now Gerard's turn.
I think Gerard is just gonna turn towards it, and he is also going to slash, just like kind of take his claws up like he did before without his claws, but now he's got the claws out, and that is 17 to hit.
17 hits. Yeah, 17 hits.
Six, 9, 11, 15 slashing.
15 slashing. Cool. And you were trying to do this without. This is non-lethal, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Tell me how Gerard knocks this Moorbounder out non-lethally.
So yeah, he just like he sees the Moorbounder attack me and me fight back, and he turns around and just like kind of slashes at like the opposite shoulder that I hit, and
Okay.
he goes like this and just like also steps back right alongside Saren.
You got it. You see the wild Moorbounder kind of like takes both sides, like can see that there's a lot of blood that's kind of like being lost. You see like the panting, and then you see it kind of like rush forward to you, and then just kind of falls limp just before you, seemingly unconscious.
I'm sorry, Moorbounder.
Saren got her another pet.
I might have
Not
killed
dead,
it, but
not dead. I would say it looks like it is breathing.
Okay, cool. She is immediately gonna like get down on its level, and can she try to like stabilize him and maybe patch up his arm?
Yeah, I'd say like do you want
Like
him to stay unconscious right now?
Yeah, for a little bit.
So I'd say you just kind of patch up the wound, just make sure that the blood isn't piercing an artery or whatever. You kind of like patch up, and you say like you see Gerard actually immediately kind of goes into a space where like they try to like kind of like move the head up to like kind of like wake him up.
Mm-hmm.
So do you what do you do?
Once it's like properly patched up, she's gonna let Gerard like try to wake it up.
Okay. All right. Okay. You see the
Oh, and she's definitely still like kneeling down in front of it.
Okay.
So she's not like standing up. She doesn't want to look like imposing or aggressive.
Got it. You see it. Its eyes kind of snap back open, looking at you. But I would say it probably takes maybe like 5 minutes to be able to kind of get this like sort of in position of where they're able to kind of come back awake. And you see the eyes kind of snap back open, and you hear a snarl from the other moorbounder as the moorbounder kind of takes this moment to try to take off and run. What do you do in response to that?
She holds her hand out like you kind of how you hold your hand out to a dog, and she says, "Wait, I'm not trying to hurt you. You don't have to leave."
Cool. Yeah, you see it just take off then.
Oh.
Yeah, I've rolled for it.
Okay.
So you see it take off into the bushes, out into the beyond. You like, you know how fast these things are. You're
Mm-hmm.
reminded how quickly you don't hear this thing. You hear a kind of like sort of interesting sort of like moan kind of sound coming from Gerard as Gerard kind of turns away and starts kind of walking back the way you came, slowly.
She starts walking behind him, and she just pets his little head and says, "I'm sorry, Gerard. We have to go get the body of, whatever that thing was, but maybe we'll come across him another time."
As you continue on to the body, the body's still there. The body's still there. You see like flies kind of buzzing around as it's taking several minutes to be able to, like, as it's going around. But you see this body. I mentioned a sun bear. A sun bear is about the size of a human, so it's about the size of a human. But I think I wanted to maintain its bareness and size. But yeah. You see the like lizard-like face, kind of tongue just kind of open. You see it's like this, like almost like this mink tongue as it's like light blue, like kind of milky white sort of look to it. But you, it's going to take both of you, and it's going to take some time to be able to kind of pull it by itself to do that, or you can choose to kind of like try to make it easier on yourself weight wise, however you see fit to do that.
Yeah, would Saren be able to like kind of slice it up with her scimitar?
You have the blades to do so. Yes,
I
absolutely.
Do. Well, I guess she has daggers too. That might be easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'd say it takes about a solid 10 minutes of cutting what you want from this thing, and you gather it up, find a way to be able to kind of like fasten it on Gerard's back as you guys head back to our giant friend. And with that, we're going to pause you there. So I know we are coming back to Guar. I wanted to check one thing with Guar. We're going to turn the noise gate back on, but turn the compressor off. So Mike, just FYI, so you should be seeing everybody in a lower frame rate. So like, things are kind of blurry or whatever. But just so you know, you look good, and hopefully the flow looks a little kind of works a little better. So.
I don't care as long as it works.
Cool. All right. So we come to Guar. So Guar, you, I think we come right back to that moment, just coming out of the space where you were outside your body, meditating, holding Brumhilda in your arms as you just kind of like jerk awake. And we'll say, because Lorianne isn't here, you hear a soft snore behind you.
She would snore. It's the best dream ever. I hear that. So I think Guar would just there's nothing else for Guar to do at this point, so I think he would just also go to sleep.
Okay, cool. So you kind of just get back into that meditative state. In the space of like, well, see, this happened. This probably didn't happen immediately. So say like it would take like because you're a 4-hour dude, right?
Nope. I'm only half.
Oh,
elf.
you're a full 8er. Okay, great. Half elf. Great. So you actually full go to sleep. Great. You wake up to the sound of well, you feel the feeling of Eldrin just smacking the front of your head over and over again.
Ah, stop it!
All right, let's go. Whatever we're doing.
What?
Are we leaving, or is there a plan that you had?
Yes, I had a plan. We talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about not necessarily fully agreeing on it, and it didn't seem like you had a full plan. So I was wondering if
You planned that. I was saying I want to see if we can get this Aarakocra people, if they can understand common or celestial or elf. I want to talk to them and see if they will join us in our fight. We could use their support.
Yeah. Okay.
Think about it. We could have air and sea.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just I don't know if the language barrier is going to be there, and honestly,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
There is a language barrier.
No.
There.
Before that. Before that.
The part where you may be right.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yep, thank you. Okay, I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Okay. Yep.
I'm still a bit
Okay.
groggy. Whew. Do you think they drink ale in Aarakocra land?
I don't know. They live in the sky, and it's weird.
Try ale,
It's
perhaps.
literally
That
the
would be
opposite of me.
I mean, I guess so. It's not just, seeds and raw meat, Why are you looking at me like that?
Just amazed.
Okay, listen. That your spell is instantaneous, right?
Which is why
Okay.
I'm not immediately doing it right now.
Plan B. That's our plan B. Let me try to talk to them and see if I can recruit them. I'm good at that. I think I could reason with them, inspire them a bit. If it doesn't work, we just, do that.
Okay, you got it. I'll have it ready. Of course, if they tie my hands, I might not be able to do that. So just FYI.
Just do it before they do that. I've seen your hands do the thing where and then the lightning happens.
Do the thing and the lightning happens. Yes, that is mostly what I do.
I'm sorry. You call lightning, okay?
Oh, actually, sorry. No, if they buy. Lorian would know this,
Yeah.
but no, actually, if they bind my hands, I can still do it. I just have to say where we're going.
Okay, see? Must you make things complicated so often? I know you like being right, but let's just work together here.
I'm not trying to make things complicated, Guar. I'm just trying to just make sure that we're able to kind of make this out in one piece. We told them one thing, and now we're going to be doing something else. And again, they're weird. They're
we did tell them
sky things.
We told the one that repeated us a lot. We told them our real names.
Oh yeah, no, I pretty much tell everybody my real name.
Yeah,
I figure being a princess must have its upswings at some point.
I mean, maybe, but we just said this is the opposite of your kingdom, so who knows?
As far as I know, we're not at war with them.
Correct. And if anything, come on, we are both seasoned warriors. I think they would at least respect our prowess there.
I mean, we're not sure.
I'm sorry.
I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, Miss. I speak my mind all the time. What were you about to say?
No, go ahead and knock on the door.
I'm thump, thump, thump.
Are you sure that was the Aarakocra way to knock? Mike, please take a point of inspiration for that. That was really funny. Cool. At that knock, immediately you hear the latch kind of move as the door opens. As you see like a darker sort of feathered uh um Aarakocra guard kind of just like poke its head out and just, ah! I'm doing this just for Miranda.
Take us to your leader if you must, if you may. Tweet, squawk.
Ah!
Yes, Brock. Is his name Brock?
Ah!
Brock.
Let's just slowly shut the door again.
No, wait, no, can we, someone who speaks common, can we, or celestial or elf, and I say something in celestial, I say, can take us to your leader, please.
Ah!
I say in elf, can you take us to your leader? Do you know any other languages besides Brock?
You hear a sigh from Eldrin as Eldrin goes, can you bring us to your king? And you hear that in a different language. You don't have primordial, do you?
No.
Yeah. You hear that in a fully different sort of language. You see the you see the Aarakocra kind of like look over at her. Ah! And it's like closes the door and latches it again.
Well, I guess we'll see who wins.
They clearly have some sort of form of primordial, probably not the same dialect, but I think they heard.
I hope so, because I'd like to get out of here without having to just, at least with a slim chance of earning some new allies.
1 second.
By the way, when you woke up, did you feel a little stronger?
Yeah, because I got a full night of sleep, so that definitely helped.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
About a few minutes goes by to the point that you're just about to go and knock again as you hear the latch kind of open. And you see the familiar kind of make sure I say this right. Hold on. The familiar sort of deep indigo looking Aarakocra kind of comes in and goes, Leave.
We would like to, but could we speak to whoever's in charge? We would like to appeal to your king, your leader, your lord.
You hear Eldrin behind you say king.
King.
Why?
Because we have a common enemy and we must unite to fight him.
Why?
Because if we don't, he's going to take over your kingdom.
Guar, I don't think he's understanding what you're saying. Do you want me to translate?
He keeps
You're
asking
gonna have to
why.
be
I'm
simplistic.
just trying to help him
Why?
understand. Yeah, go for it.
Global conflict. You just said it.
Doesn't know politics.
Why? Okay. Eldrin Enerath. Why? God damn, I don't know, Guar.
Guaramon Amarth?
Guaramon Amarth.
Yes, me.
You see him going to close the door again.
No, wait.
Why?
King. Talk to the king.
Why?
Danger.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Danger. Everyone. Guar, I'd like you to make this persuasion check for me.
Persuasion. I think that's good. Persuasion. Yes, I got a 26 on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait.
Closes the door again. You see, I'll just. Okay. I mean, worst case scenario. I mean, you say the word. We can just go back to Noria, where it's the water's nice and where.
I am wanted down there, and not in a good way.
It's probably fine. My father probably figured it out.
Well, I would hope so.
I
He's
don't-
the goddamn king. Can he give
I
me
don't
a
know if
pardon or something?
I don't know, Guar. You literally killed a citizen of Honoria, but we'll find out.
He was gonna kill me first.
I know. Just wasn't very tactful of you.
I'm sorry. Is there a tactful way to be murdered?
Actually, yes.
That's not my style. I'd rather look a person in the eye when I end his life. Particularly if he's done me wrong or someone I care about. He was going to bite my face off.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. You're right.
But at least I'm getting a
Gosh.
fair idea of how we can communicate with these bird people.
Yeah. This is taking forever. No time has passed, like, besides this conversation. Maybe I should have said my father's name. Maybe they would have known.
I mean, if they don't know us, they don't know.
Whoa, what? Excuse me? They don't know the king of Honoria?
I don't know. Listen, we're having a hard enough time talking to them as it is. The last thing we want to do is name drop.
I'm just saying it might have helped to kind of speed things along.
Well, you know what? When they come back, you are welcome to try.
You just hear her like kind of shouting at the wall. Princess of Honoria!
Do you miss Noros?
You know what to do. Where do you think Welber is right now?
Ugh. I just hope he's better off than we are.
I'm worried about him.
Hope he's not stuck with someone terrible. At least you're together, you know? I wonder if anyone else is with anyone else or if they all got separated.
Oh, God. I guess in my head, I assumed that everybody went off in pairs. What if they didn't?
Pears. The pears sound good right now.
Shut up.
When's
Shut
the
up.
last time we
What-
ate?
Why did we disappear together then? If the... What was the point of that?
Point of what?
Just if we like, did we break something? Did Tall just send us out in different directions? Like what was the reasoning for that?
I mean, it would make sense for him to want to split us up. He saw how powerful we were together.
Then why are we together?
Because we're awesome.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, but for whatever reason it is, I'm glad that we are. Even though you can be quite the thorn in my side sometimes. But I'd rather have you with me than not here at all.
Well, yeah, because you know I could Never mind.
Well, yes, that, but also, I did promise Noros that I would look out for you, or else he'd murder me, or try to murder me. But
Right. Well,
maybe this is just our respective gods honoring that promise.
what?
Listen, my god is not a jealous god. He's down for whatever, as long as you're taking care of people.
Yeah,
You know.
no. I mean, Persona is fully accepting of the like lower gods that are around. Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's also accepting of the higher gods too, because Bahamut is pretty great. So anyway, what I was saying was, I wonder
Gosh.
if they are seeing how we've worked together, and maybe they were able, since I don't know what other gods they worship, the rest of our friends. I think we're the only ones that are devout. I
I
wonder
think they
if they're
I think they don't worship any gods.
preposterous, but
I know.
I don't want to yuck anyone's yum here, but I mean, how could you not really? I mean,
It's like there's a responsibility to that of like recognizing like, the world is bigger than you, so I mean,
well, and I don't you want guidance? Like, I want to find guidance, and I want a little. I think it's a little arrogant to assume you can do it yourself.
well, yeah, I mean I mean everything I can do is from the power of Persona, and I mean there's a space where it's like I don't know,
Well, of
I
course,
like
everything you do is for the
recognize.
power of Basana. See, Bahamut lets us figure it out. He guides us to the answer ourselves, and then empowers us to do it, which is pretty great. So, but whatever. I mean,
Well, yeah,
our gods work a little differently. It's fine. But I think that I wonder if our gods were to maybe kind of saw what we were doing and said, okay, we're gonna keep them together because we've got to get everybody back together. We've got to find our friends. Are we the mom and dad of our group?
no, we're the
Good.
we're
I
the
didn't think so.
leaders. I mean, we're the responsible ones.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you are. I don't know. I try
Yeah,
to
that's a
be.
good point.
I try to be. I know I've gone too far sometimes. I'm working on it. It's been hard since Celeste has been gone, and Bahamut's been really helpful ever since. But I don't know. There's just something off. I was really clicking with Celeste, and I really hope I can find them again. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay. So you don't know this. Okay. So when you were sleeping, I had this vision. Do you ever get visions when you meditate?
I don't really. You mean when I do my rituals? I mean, Persona talks to me.
That's not the same thing. But okay, so I had this vision, right, where I saw these Celestials were gonna walk Broomhilda into the gates of is it Celestia?
Celestia, yeah.
Celestia. Into Celestia, and if that had happened, she was gonna dissolve into nothing, and I didn't know what to do.
Uh-oh.
I just thought how much I cared about her, and I tried to pick up this ghost, this halberd, but I was in a ghost form, and I picked up like a ghost version of it, and I threw it as hard as I could at the gate, and it blocked the gate, and then the real halberd went up, and it talked, and it said, "No, don't do that," and then it flew, and it blew up this one celestial. It was really cool, and then I caught Broomhilda, and I said, "I'm gonna find you," and then I came back. So I
Guar,
think
you know how when like dreams are really interesting until you start to kind of like hear it from someone else's perspective. I mean, that's cool. It sounds like you had quite a night.
Listen, you didn't believe me whenever I told you Celeste was real either.
Yeah.
And they are.
Okay. Has Eldrin had any proof of that?
I think only Wilbur has.
Yeah, I would say I don't think Eldrin
Yeah.
has. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You're right.
But I thought Wilbur was there and relayed that on some level too. Maybe I could.
How did Wilbur see Celeste?
remember. Was it like warg when Wilbur warged into Tall's my mind and therefore Tall's
Oh, that's
mind?
right. They had a
Yeah,
conversation.
it
Yeah,
was.
that's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, you did. I don't know. What does that mean then? What does that? Do you think that actually happened?
Yes. I believe that happened.
Well, if that actually happened, why haven't I heard anything from Persona?
Because it had nothing to do with him.
They're gods, Guar. They would have a connection to
Maybe
Celestia.
Bahamut hadn't told him yet.
Persona would find out before Bahamut would, obviously.
I mean, Persona would find out as soon as Bahamut told him, because Bahamut would know that way before Persona would figure it out.
Okay, whatever.
No
I'm just
offense,
saying,
I have
there's
seen
no...
the effect of Persona. Look, I'm not denying Persona's power. I'm just saying,
Good.
if Bahamut wanted Persona to know, he would let him know. That's all I'm saying. And I think he did. That's my point. I think he did. I think that's why we're together. Why do you think we're together?
Well, that's not totally stupid, Guar.
Thank you, I guess.
I mean, I'm not saying that I believe that all that happened, but, you know,
Oh, you have little faith.
it's a theory.
Mm-hmm. Where's your faith?
You hear the door open up one more time, and you see the white feathered, older looking Kenku come and goes, Guar Amanamarth.
Yes.
Eldrin Enerath. Please come with me.
Of course.
You kind of walk out, and you guys follow out. We'll pause you guys there. Cool. And finally, last but not least, coming to Wilbur. Wilbur. Yeah, you dive underwater. You are able to kind of cast that sort of. I think you pronounce this like a globe that's around both of you, right?
Yes.
You see as you're swimming down. Are you still holding on to Cerilius's hand, or are you kind of like letting Cerilius kind of like figure it out?
No, I feel like I'm gonna have to hold this idiot's hand, so I'm gonna hold his hand.
You periodically do see Cerilius like trying to like hold their breath in the space of like what is very personal to me. Someone who's trying to use a snorkel but doesn't understand how to be able to kind of do both in the space of like thinking I'm underwater, so I have to hold my breath. Yeah, he's having a hard time of it.
You can breathe normal. There's plenty of air in here for you. If I wanted
Okay.
to, I could make all the air disappear, but I'm not going to do that. So you can just breathe normal.
Okay. Primordials have been good to you, Wilbur. So how do I do this thing?
Do what thing?
Just move my hands anywhere?
No, you have to do it like this. Like you have to like almost like you're cutting your way through the water.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. I've never had to do this before. I usually just teleport or just jettison my way at like the speed of light. Okay. Is this right? Are we getting anywhere?
We'll get somewhere eventually.
Wilbur, I'd like you to roll me a survival check.
Uh, 24.
24. With a 24, with a 24, you are I think as you're trying to kind of like you're jumping into the water and trying to kind of figure out like, okay, now what direction do we go? The only thing you absolutely know for sure is Honoria is underwater.
Hmm.
So your first inclination is, okay, we just swim down. And knowing that that's like the hardest direction to swim, you kind of like, I think in your mind is like, you're in a space of like, okay, hardest direction must mean we're going in the right direction. And you continue to kind of swim forward. You guys do this for a time. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Uh,
Oh, jeez.
21.
21. Okay, cool. So about 3 hours go by of doing this, and you can definitely feel the kind of like burning in your muscles as you're kind of making your way along. As you feel the burning in your muscles, you kind of look over, and let's see. Should just probably ask you, nurse. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. You notice there are. Okay, cool. You notice that the movement that that Cerullius is doing is moving a little bit slower, and you actually see these spaces where like the robes he's wearing is very like flowy. So occasionally you're kind of like seeing like the upper arm and like kind of like underneath in that space, like there's this big like kind of like arm pocket is in there. You notice you see like muscle tendons twitching, showing you the signs of like exhaustion, but Cerullius is full on not understanding what's going on. So he's just continuing to go because he's never been exhausted before. That's what you determined with that roll.
Maybe you should just like hang on to me for a little bit. Your body looks like it's getting pretty tired.
When I stop, my brain doesn't hurt.
That's usually how that works. Yep.
Okay, so I hold on to you.
Just hold on to me.
Fully just like just full on straddles you. A full like 6-foot man just straddling this 3.5-foot wombat. Your movements as a wombat are small because of how your arms work. They're even more like constrained now because he's just like kind of holding on to you like this. He says to you, wow, what a full circle it's been, huh? This is not I never thought it would come to this.
Yeah, me either. I'm basically a beaver.
Well, no, you're a wombat. Beavers don't live underwater, Wilbur.
Okay.
He looks concerned as you continue to swim. You swim for another 3 hours. Go ahead, give me another Constitution saving throw.
16.
16. Okay. Day 16, you definitely start to feel it for sure. You can feel that sort of same like feeling of like your bones and your muscles just being like just full on fire as you're continuing to kind of swim downward. You like kind of like pause to look up, and you're like not even sure if you've made like it's hard to tell because as soon as you look up, you can still see the surface tension of the water. You can see, it's hard to kind of get an idea of how much uh, distance you've gained going down. You still see the coral wall just uh, right there as you're kind of like swimming alongside it. Um, uh, you get the feeling that in another hour or so, you're gonna have to stop.
You don't know how to get to Honoria? I mean, it has to be around here somewhere.
Uh, I know it's down. I know there's a coral wall that looks something like this.
So it's just down.
Yeah. And I mean, even me traveling as fast as I do remember it took me like a full 2 seconds.
Wow. Wouldn't that be nice right now?
It's funny. I remember making that journey and recognizing that every time I had to make it, I remember there's one point where I just decided that I was too tired to make that journey that day. It's funny, huh?
Yes, so funny. Do you see any animal that we could like hitch a ride on or something? I mean, it sure would be nice to have like a seahorse right now or something.
Most of the sea life I see are no about half the size of you. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
24.
Okay, high roller. Nice. With a 24, you notice that one of the like you're like kind of looking around the coral reef that you're next to, like recognizing the idea that most likely there must be some sort of sea life that actually like live here in that point. And you notice one of the presumably the pieces of coral that's kind of like sticking out like and there's like a straight like sort of jagged line. You see it's kind of like moving within the water, and then you see it kind of like is slowly turning, and you see just an eyelid open. Sees it seeing you, and fully just pulls into the coral wall.
Wait!
No
I was
response.
gonna swim closer to the eye. Wait! I need help.
Are you saying this in common?
I will try common first, and then primordial.
Cool. Common, no response. Primordial, you do see the eye stalk kind of come back out and just kind of look at you. Oh, I don't know, Wilbur. That's a very terrifying looking.
Cerelia,
creature.
shut up.
Okay.
Can you help? I'm-
That's all you hear.
Honoria.
See a blink from the eye stalk. You see another one kind of come up. And both eyes are open, looking towards you.
Honoria. Honoria.
Yeah, you see, I mean, it is conversing with you. It's probably speaking in primordial, but all you're seeing is the bubbles like kind of coming up and just going out. You also don't see like a face or anything. You just see the eye stalks.
I don't know what it's saying.
I think it said blah 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 blah.
God, I'm Why? Why are you here?
I normally I hear all the languages as my own, so sorry. Is blah 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 something?
I don't know. Does blah 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 sound like something?
Not to me, not anymore.
Yeah, not to me either.
Well, I'm gonna ask it to bring us to Honoria.
Can you bring us to Honoria?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh God, please be good. 18.
18. You see a with an 18. I'll roll against. Okay. With an 18, you see the eye stalks themselves seem to kind of like slink over closer to you, kind of inspecting you, like beady eyes, and you see this this sort of like formless like a face where like the mouth should be kind of like pushes outward from it, and you see the eyes themselves are probably about roughly like each eye is probably about roughly the size of like about this big. um doesn't look like it's necessarily like Duchess size or anything. But the body itself, or excuse me, the form that where the stalks are positioned, kind of like make its way sort of around this sort of ridge of the coral wall as you see a like pincer like claw come out and another one come out, and then legs start to kind of come out past it. You see this creature is significantly smaller than Duchess, and you see there is instead of a skull, you see that there is actually this like cage of coral that is like encased around it. Um, it is probably, it would still be considered to be like a large creature. I'd say, but it's about maybe 10 feet. So it's about half the size of Duchess, I think. Kind of comes up to you, like kind of like snaps at you like this, like not aggressively, just in your face. And you just see
Let's go.
uh the pincer kind of grabs at your clothes and like pulls you up to like being around its like sort of, it has this almost like sluggish sort of frame from it because its body is significantly more outside of the shell than Duchess would be. But you get the feeling that actually this is probably a similar race to Duchess. As I think you said let's go in primordial, so so Cerilius is going, okay, what's happening? Are you leaving me? I understand.
Just get on. Just get behind me.
Okay, onto this thing.
No, over there. Yes.
Okay, all right, okay,
No, get.
thank you. That's what humans say, right?
Yes.
And like picks one leg up and just kind of like goes over, and you see the creature starts to kind of make its way down the wall. Go ahead and roll me a nature check, Wilbur.
Oh my God, I hope I live to tell Eldrin about this. 19.
19.
Yep.
I'm gonna send you something just to you.
I'm just like, I'm picturing this thing with Gary the crab eyes.
It is very Gary like, yes, as far as the like the eye stalks and everything. Yeah,
Does it go meow?
doesn't go meow, unfortunately. It just goes. uh, So, you continue to travel down. Um, I would like I would like 3 Constitution saving throws, and I'll say do them one at a time.
3 of them?
Mhm.
Okay. 11.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
And 19 again.
Okay. Cool. So you it's a boring journey. There's not a lot to do. You're kind of just like following, you're kind of like holding onto this crab as they're kind of moving. They're not moving fast, right? But you are continuing, you're noticing the pressure kind of building up even inside these sort of like bubble that you're encased in. Um you notice that about 5 hours goes by, and um I feel tired and weak. About 10 hours go by. I feel like my eyes red. You see, you look at you look at Cerilius. His eyes are a bright like red, just like in a human way, like very, very, very pinkish. So now it's been 10 hours.
You probably need to like get some sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, so just like close your eyes and like, you know,
In my head one way.
just like close your eyes and clear your mind, and you'll just drift off to sleep.
Unfortunately, being in my current form, I do have all my memories and understanding of things that have happened in my lifetime. So it would be very difficult for me to just clear that out. Is there like a device that you normally use for that?
No, there's not. You just like, okay, think about imagine you were laying on a cloud.
Okay.
And it
You can't really
was
lay on a cloud, but okay.
the softest cloud that you've ever felt in your entire life.
They are pretty much completely vapor. Are you thinking? You're annoyed. Okay, I understand this expression. Okay, I am on a fantasy cloud that is soft like a crunchy leaf.
No, a crunchy leaf isn't really soft.
Just easy to break. It's soft. Like clothes.
Right. So like imagine a big pile of clothing
Mhm.
and you just nestled up in it.
Okay.
So imagine that you're laying comfortably in a big pile of
He's completely out. You see one of the eye stalks just turn and look at you as that sound is like reverberating through this bubble.
great conversation.
Um, I'd like a dexterity saving throw.
16.
16. Okay, cool. You see there's as one of the eye stalks kind of like turns to look at you, they have like half the vision that they normally are, and they manage to kind of you see this this creature kind of like slip on one of the like coral sort of formation. You see it kind of like break off, and you kind of like take a tip sideways. You manage to kind of keep yourself from like slamming into the coral reef, but you instinctively put out a hand. As you put out a hand, I would like a wisdom saving throw.
Uh, 13.
13.
Yeah, 13.
Wilbur, as you put out your hand, you feel a sense that you've felt a couple times before in the past, but this is just a little different. You feel a sense of your mind being whisked away, and you feel your whole body just kind of like. You can feel yourself kind of like almost like. At first, all you see is black, and you manage to kind of blink your eyes into existence as you find yourself in a small village. You find yourself in a small house first off. So you feel yourself in a room. You kind of like, you're looking around with your eyes, but you feel that you can't seem to turn your head or body. As you're trying to think of like being able to kind of control this environment, you feel your body kind of get up and walk towards the window. Look out the window. You see this this small sort of fountain. This rudimentary sort of depiction of this very muscle-bound being with this like kind of like significant beard and this axe that they're holding up in the air. You see the water itself seems to be relatively low. You can see that it seems to be trickling out of the axe, but it looks like it's not doing a very good job at it. And you hear a voice down the stairs. As you hear the voice sounds oddly familiar. It's been a time, but you hear, Milo, you awake? Oh my gosh. Come downstairs. There's breakfast. And we're going to pause you there. It's up to you guys. Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break, or do you want to press on? Your call.
I can take a break.
I could go for a break.
Let's do it. 5-minute break. I'll see you guys in 11:20. So, jumping back into the space, we'll kind of put the main theme music back on here. So, jumping back into the space of where we left off with Milo. Milo, I will tell you straight up just what the plan is, as I understand it from now for the Tuesday group. So there is a town that is called Mir. That is north of here. That is a small village, no more than of like around like 500 people. That has been under the for a few years has been under the protection, quote unquote, of a Leonin city known as Hasimal. There's also located north of here. Okay, cool. Just make sure that's good. There's also located here. The trade-off is okay, cool. The trade-off is they are paying them in their they don't know for sure, so I would say they're just paying them in foods or in natural resources of food supplies, things like that, and then also gold. And it has been staggeringly increasing over the past year or so. Very much in the like they're impoverished because of this. If pressed, they would tell you that in detail. There was a certain point when they were there in Mir, somewhat undercover. Not undercover, but in a space where when the Hosmalian troops were not there, they happened to see that there were actually a couple of citizens that had actually been hanged because of disrespecting Hosmal for whatever reason. So it was clear that like Mir is in trouble and they have to get out. I'll say this. Let's put this on a kind of like luck check of saying of how much you're understanding and picking up right now.
It was a 10.
10? Okay, cool. You're getting the basic idea of it, of what's going on here. And so basically, there's been some time where they've put some trust in some other unwieldy people in power that have proven to be not useful at all. And if anything, have proven to be not what they seem to be. So they're kind of left in a space of trying to kind of handle it themselves, but now actually having to hide themselves not only from the Roar, which is the name of the army, Panthera Rouge. The Panthera Rougiera, I believe, something like that. Gosh, I made it. I should know it. Or Panthera Rougette, that's what it is. Actually, I didn't make it. Matt made it. Sorry, Matt. So the Panthera Rougette, otherwise known as the Roar, they're having to do this under cover of night to be able to make sure that they're able to hide as much as they can. But as you're hearing this, you also know the idea that like being able to evacuate 500 people from a village is going to be tricky business. The teleportation sort of thing is being handled by literally Cavish and Riley. Riley's going to be on one end, Cavish is going to be on the other, and bringing them up to a ghost town village that they recently saved, so to speak, that is known as Raven's Rock. Most of the names and terminology doesn't really connect with you at all. Yeah, I'd say with a 10, there's no information that I would give you that's going to be pertinent unless they, like the Tuesday group, literally tell you. And if that happens, I'll let you know. But yeah, so you get the idea of what's going on that. So I believe Cavish is the one that's going to be opening up the portal on the Mir end. And then Riley's going to move on ahead to further up north. And we're talking like several days journey up north to be able to open up the portal on the opposite end.
Okay.
And they're planning on doing this tonight. Is there any questions you have to ask them at this point?
I guess they're not going to let them. Obviously, they're not going to let the citizens go quietly. Are we expecting a fight, or are we?
It's tricky, and we'll RP that. We got time. So here's the thing. We don't know how many of the roar is going to be there when we actually show up there. They kind of they show up every 2 to 3 weeks to collect their debt, and then there are guards that they have posted that are they are very dedicated to the roar, but they're probably not going to be that much of a problem as long as they don't. Depends on how lucky we are. But there isn't normally, as far as we understand it, there's not normally a bunch of Leonins stationed there.
Alright.
They kind of just come and take their shit. And that's it.
Well, take other people's shit, and then
Yeah. Take the citizens' shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like we mostly have a plan.
Yeah. One of the guards do. I am probably going to be able to talk to because they have a. They think I'm with the roar because I'm look Leonin and I was with the roar, but that's a story.
Oh, so it's not like a race thing. It's
Oh no, it definitely probably is, but it works in my favor. So
that's fair.
this isn't even close to the accent that Matt gives. By the way,
He's not Ted Lasso.
He's not Ted Lasso. It's not like a cowboy Southern accent that I'm giving right now. Sorry, Matt.
Milo's just gonna say, well, I mean, if we need luck, one of the stereotypes about halflings, I happen to be
No, I really
surprisingly lucky.
Oh, you're okay. Great. We could use some luck.
And I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty good in a fight. And yeah, I'm here to help.
Oh, we certainly appreciate you. Seem like you're a all right fellow. Slagtan, do you have any other information for him at all? Slagtan has been noticing you noticing him.
Mm-hmm.
And just it's kind of been keeping his distance. Kind of takes this moment to kind of walk up and just goes, "You're from South Imea.
I am.
What do you know about North Imea?"
I know on a map it is a good bit above where I'm from.
So not at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything.
This wild country. Always be careful where you step.
Okay.
You seem sure yourself in this.
Yeah, I'm pretty good on my feet. I'm I don't last couple of weeks things haven't been I've been feeling more peaceful than normal. I think I'll be okay.
This is either a very good thing or a very bad thing. I hope it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, could be confidence. I could be cocky. I guess we'll see when it pays out.
Yes. Either way, happy you're on our side.
Glad to be here.
I have fresh. I killed an elk.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you're hungry.
Yeah, and Milo's gonna like hop over. Does it need cleaned or anything?
It is. It looks like it was killed the night before. So you see, like, there's some flies on it that you have to kind of like move out of the way. The Cerberus puppy definitely seemed to have its way with it. You can also notice that there seems to be like kind of a claw marks in the carcass that looks to be smaller than what the Cerberus's paws would be. Do you need me to put over fire for you?
No, I can handle that. Yeah, I can break this down. Does anybody else want any? And Milo's gonna like start taking a head count of the people.
You see a very brave wombat kind of raise her hand. Okay, I'll take as tabaxi, right? Slagton kind of leans in and just goes, I tried to tell them it's not cat person, it's more like moose, but bigger. They don't seem to understand. They think everything tabaxi.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a tabaxi, kind of.
Okay, I'll take 2.
All right. Yeah, it's not looking so delicious. Milo's gonna cut into it and start like cleaning it, and cutting bits of meat off, and as he's doing that, he's gonna like start a little fire, and he's going to I'm assuming survival check. I'm not sure what to like insight maybe. To like, is this going to hurt him?
Oh, I see. Not if you're cooking it.
Yeah.
You can tell Slagtan is really staring at you hard while you're like cutting this meat open. I say I feel free to roll an insight check if you wanted to.
It was a 17.
17, cool. Are you using like weaponry for this?
Just using my dagger.
Okay, cool. So you're using a dagger, kind of cutting up. You see, he is looking at what you're using to cut it open, and then I would say as soon as you light a fire, he kind of like nods and stops paying so close attention. I'd say with the 17, you get the idea that he's wondering if you're going to eat it raw.
He would have
suspicious.
Really he would have really enjoyed my snack 2 days ago.
Right. Yeah, he's suspicious of you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Milo's definitely gonna cook. This. Then he's gonna ask the brave little wombat. How do you? I don't know how. The other wombat I know doesn't really like meat. How do you like your steak cooked?
I'm good, thank you. I've had my fill in the morning.
He was asking the wombat.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, cook it sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So I'll make it how I'm making mine. And so Milo hands him two steaks that are
okay.
Yeah.
You said he'd take 2 and you give him 2 steaks.
Yeah.
Okay. You see him like squirrel level biting into one. This. Okay, yeah, this is good. I'll probably spend most of the day eating this one, and I'll save the next one, or I'll give it like it's like side eyeing you of like,
Yeah.
Man, I'm supposed to eat 2 of these. Holy shit! Like it's clearly like How do I
You know,
save face here?
yeah, Milo's just, you know what? Take your time. They're big stakes. It's a lot. You're good.
Okay, yeah, so I could save the next one for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know that. I've eaten
Yeah.
tabaxi.
We all have. I mean, you guys eat them all the time. And
you see
Milo
you
looks
see another
over at.
wombat. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Milo looks over at Slagtan and like raises eyebrows, and like turns back to his steak.
Cool. You turn back to your steak to see from your peripheral, from your scene, another wombat come up, a little bit smaller out of your peripheral. Sees like is wearing some sort of clothing. Looks like maybe like a cape. Actually, like your instant like thing is like, oh, Wilbur, you're here, and like you turn and look, and you see a small wombat grab the other steak out of the hand of the other one, and just kind of takes it and plops down right next to you, and just starts eating it. Doesn't look at you, just starts eating it. It takes you a second to realize who this is. This is Wilma, which is just for the record, because there's a lot of W's. That is Wilbur's sister.
Yeah,
younger sister.
Wilma, what's up? I mean, every other time I've seen you, you've tried to kill me. But hi.
I'm eating. Hi. Welcome back.
All right. Thank you.
I assume you know that Wilbur's God.
Yeah. Riley was just filling me in our whole party, and you guys are missing like 20 or so, right?
Yeah. Just all the leaders, which, it's fine. It's not a big deal. We can work things out on our own.
Did Winslow make it through? Do you guys have Wario still?
Who's Winslow? Who's Wario?
I don't know. There's a lot of you, and those are the W names I could come up with in the moment.
Oh,
I just assumed they were still.
Winslow. You said it like with a Z. Yeah, no, we were Winslow.
Yeah, they make it through. They're still here.
Yeah, they're right over there.
Of course.
Points to what to you is like. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they all look like. They all look exactly like Wilbur.
I will say, you notice with Wilma has done a lot of work to try to actually look more like Wilbur in the past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that the cape is like kind of like set in a certain way. You notice that she's wearing like pants now, but you can tell the pants are like they keep falling down. So she's like having to like kind of like hoist them up. Yeah.
Milo's gonna say, so you've been taking good care of everybody, keeping everybody safe.
I mean, someone has to.
That's true. And Milo's gonna reach down and pull a little length of rope and wrap it around Wilma's waist and tie it off as a belt for the pants after he sees her pull up her pants the second time.
Okay. Cool. You do that. You see her. You see. You go to like kind of like wrap it around. She like kind of like bats it away. What are you doing?
Just stop. Just trust me. This is gonna keep your pants up. It'll make it a lot easier. And he's gonna show his belt, like pull up his shirt a little bit and show his belt, and like, see, I have the same thing.
Okay. Okay, great.
And Milo ties it off and says, "There you go. Looks great."
You see, we'll say we'll kind of like we'll end on this small little point. You see Titian kind of like walk by and goes, "All right, Wilma, how's it going?" You see Wilma take this moment, looks up at Titian, It just goes. It just gets up and walks away. Yeah, that's about right. Do you know Wilma?
As much as I feel like one can know Wilma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know her very much. I just only spoke to her a few hours, but I'm no expert, but well, you know what? I'll just tell you the facts. I found her in Wilbur's yurt. I think that's what they call him, a yurt. And while they were having their drum circle, I guess your friend had like a marimba.
Okay.
Like a small marimba, like sort of like a xylophone sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I caught Wilma trying to pull it out, and I kind of tried to help her, and she like threw a fit. I think there's some stuff going on with her. I think she misses her brother in
Yeah.
a way.
She seems like she's I don't know, since I've met her, she's been kind of trying to prove herself. Has she shown off her archery to you?
Yeah, she shot me right in the chest.
Oh, she hit you. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I
She's,
mean, she did. It just kind of glanced off. She had like a. It wasn't an arrow. It was just a branch.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Did she shoot you with an arrow?
She tried. Her aim is terrible. Typically.
Oh shit! So she has access to arrows. Okay. All right.
I mean, at one point we used we used a lot. So I don't know if she has access to arrows anymore. But she did, and but hey, at least she didn't have an arrow when she hit you in the chest.
Yeah, I guess that would not have been a great welcome.
Kept trying to hit me in the head with them. Thank God she sucks.
Yeah, she reminds me of someone for sure. So I get it. Hey, so how well do you know Riley?
Not really well. I'm not very well. We went to a wedding together once.
Oh.
And then we had this.
Yeah, Triton wedding.
Yeah.
She was telling me about it.
Yeah. It was
ended bad.
Yeah, and then we had this. And then we got transported to Honoria, and then without her, and then we had this battle, and then we all got transported to different places afterwards. So I've not done anything with her that didn't end in transportation. And it sounds like that's going to keep up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's actually how we met her. She was really frazzled. Apparently, she got poofed herself, and happened to be just right about where we were, which was great because we were fucking lost, man. Anyways, sorry, I don't need to go into the whole laugh story thing, but yeah. So you said that you've been in the underwater the Honoria?
Yeah. We spent like 3 days down there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a Deem's from there.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, doesn't really talk very much about it, but I could tell he misses it a lot. You look over and you see a Deem is fully like is submerged up to his face just in the water. He slept in there last night.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, yeah, I guess we're just asking because like with Riley, she never cast a spell on you or anything, or try to charm you in any way.
No, not that I mean, I suppose not that I've noticed is probably the best answer I can give. Has has she seemed? Has she been trying to charm you, or?
I don't know. It was just a weird night last night. We were just all talking and kind of agreed to something, and she shook my hand, and then I felt this like weird sensation, and she like pulled her hand away quickly and said goodnight really quickly, and then just like kind of like ran into the tree. Not like I'm sorry, like through the tree.
What was the sensation? What was it?
You know how like when you think about like the first time you like sunk your teeth into some monkey bread. Or had your first beer.
Okay. Breakfast drink. Do you have breakfast drink?
What the fuck is breakfast drink?
It's like a beer. It's better. It's better than a beer.
You're gonna have to tell me more about that. But yeah, it's like the first time that sensation of like this is gonna affect me for the rest of my life.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that for a second, and then it was gone. But it seemed like it freaked her out too. So
yeah, I think that's just kind of Riley. I think it just means she feels safe around you. Because I've had a similar thing where like it felt like everything was spring and it was beautiful and wonderful just for like a split second.
yeah,
When I've been around her,
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So I think
Maybe
that's
it's
just. I think it's just kind of Riley.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well, hey, I'll leave you to it. But if there's anything you need before we head off, obviously we got a few hours. But Milo, thank you for being around. Sounds like you're a cool dude, and I assume you're gonna be a big help when nothing happens tonight.
Yeah. Hey, do you want any elk? I've kind of broke it down, and I don't know what else to do with it. And the rest of the wombats I thought the wombats were vegetarians.
No, I'm good right now. I had it for breakfast, and honestly, after watching Cyctan eat it raw for like way too long.
Yeah.
It's like very chewy. It's just kind of. I mean, but obviously, like you do, obviously,
People tell me it's the noises. I get it. It's the noises that are the worst part.
Yeah. You have a dog or something?
Something like
that. With that, we're gonna pause you. Cool. Going to Saren. Saren, you are coming back to Krakus. You see the big figure is doing something where you see him kind of like just like counting in his hands. When you arrive, he immediately puts them down. Oh, we found food.
Yeah, not quite sure what it was, but yeah, me and Gerard were able to catch it.
Oh, kind of picks up with one hand, looks at it. Goes, oh, it looks like it was alive, and then it bites off the head. And now it's not.
Yeah. And
swallows
then
the head whole.
She just sits down and she starts to make a little fire.
Okay. Cool. Oh. You know how to do that? That's not that was my version of dishing again. You know how to do that? Oh shit. You know how to do
that? Yeah. I've been living in the woods for a few years now. So you can do all that kind of survival stuff.
Forest did that on its own?
Maybe sometimes, but
You learn from the fire giant?
no, I learned from where I grew up, far away from here. At least I think.
Okay. It's warm.
Mm-hmm.
So you make the fire. I would say I assume you're kind of like trying to to be able to like make jerky from this. It'd be difficult to do in the span of like even 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could probably save some of it, but yeah, I'd say you save as much as you can, as you do notice that Krakus will just continue to eat it until you take it out of his sight.
Yeah, she cooks some for her and Gerard and takes
You
her
see
share.
Gerard, you throw it to Gerard instinctively, like knowing that he always like smells it and catches it in his mouth before it, and you see it just kind of like slap off his face and it's gonna go to the ground.
Oh,
You see him kind of go to it and just, but his mind is clearly elsewhere.
poor Gerard.
Yeah.
Almost had a friend.
Almost. So after that point in time, you kind of, I assume you kind of pack up and you start to head out. I think the first part of the journey, Krakus is going to make as much ground walking as you are in like what would be equivalent to your rogue jog, which is still pretty quick. I'd say you're able to kind of keep up. We're gonna say that's the level there on that. I would have you roll a survival check, but I think Krakus is leading. And I think, assuming that you trust him on that, I'll go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Dirty 20.
20. Yeah. Well, low DC. Yeah. You he seems sure of himself. You're sure of him being sure of himself. You feel like you're kind of going the right direction. You continue to see mountains across kind of on the left side as you continue to kind of traverse. And I would say it takes about a day's journey until you start to see Krakus start to kind of walk up the mountain. It doesn't say anything to you, just kind of like I'd say it's getting to the point of like it's getting close to dusk, and you see him actually taking a step up to the mountain. It doesn't say anything to you though.
She yells up, Krakus, would you mind if I got on your back again?
Oh, yeah, we gotta go around.
It's been a long day. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, come on. We're saying we're going around.
Okay. She starts to climb up.
Okay, cool.
You
climb. Go ahead.
Oh, do you think my friend could get up here too this time? I know he's pretty fast, but he also has little legs.
I can get him that much quicker if you want me to just throw him.
No throwing. No throwing.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. Don't let him dig too deep.
I'll keep an eye on him.
Thick skin, but not, we'll go around and get cold. So you climb up on his back and you start to travel back up the mountain. It's like kind of like in a diagonal sort of point. Saren, this is just a little confusing. Like you were on a normal sort of path and then you had to move up and you kept hearing him say around. So it is probably just like thinking in your head of like knowing with your role that he probably knows best, he knows where he's going, but still kind of being confused on that. It takes about 2 hours before you actually you actually kind of start to get an understanding of what he's talking about as you see you see lights blinking on and off in the distance, several miles below. As you see, you are traversing around a very large city in North Imea. And with that, we're going to pause you.
I have a question. Is she able to like do her little 4-hour trance at some point while she's on Krakus's back?
I say you could. Krakus would also sleep though.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you want to do that now, you could. Yeah, I'll give that to you. Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. For the record, Gerard doesn't, right? So Gerard would probably have to stay behind if you were planning on doing anything on that side. But I will give you just to kind of actually end that out. Give me a history check. It's a pretty high DC though.
I have a +1, so
Okay.
we'll see. 18.
18? Okay, cool. With an 18, it's pretty good. I'll give you some. Okay, all right. With an 18, you see this big city as you see like nightfall is starting to kind of come, and you notice a very large building that is. I think you never got close enough to Eisenheim to actually see like the castle. But I'd say you have seen Honoria, so it is very similar in that sort of way of that castle sort of shape. It looks to be about that size somewhat. All right, man, I'll see you later. As you kind of like peer in closer, you notice that there is you start to see populations kind of going in and out, and you see that there is a significant amount of group of people. This is just one building in the town, but it's clearly the largest building. You notice that it looks like it's extremely well kept. You can see that there's a garden area. There is buildings that are outside of these buildings that look like other places to kind of go to. You notice that everyone that's kind of like drifting in and out of these buildings seem to be wearing the same thing. You see it as like a very like a black cape, and you see there's like some sort of like dull color of you see like there's I think there's like a blue, and I say like blue, green, and red, those different things, but they all seem to be wearing the same black cape. I say with an 18, it looks like a uniform. And in South Imea, you've never seen a school. Most of the people that you've seen are homeschooled in the cities and towns that you're at, or they're schoolhouses, but they're like literally house size. This looks like it is some sort of academy. So I'll give you that. Okay, cool. We'll pause you there. Quar, you are following our Kenku friend, who goes by the name, as you are traversing the hallways. Or excuse me, apologies, no hallways at all. As soon as you kind of come out, you notice that the area that you're in, that jailed sort of space, the hallway itself is not that far at all as you immediately kind of blink out to daylight again. You notice that you have 4 Aarakocra that are with you, all of which are flying. So 2 are like flying like maybe 5 feet above you, and then 2 that are flying maybe like 20 feet above you. You and Eldrin, as you guys are walking, and you see right in front of you this very large, I think we talked about him before, but you see this very large, very Aztec-like pyramid that is basically like, it like shadows you in its space. It's probably about close to maybe like 150 feet high. And from your direction, you can see, like, from where you guys are walking in my head, Um, yeah, actually, the sun is kind of like right behind it, so you kind of see the sun like kind of like blocking out right from the top as it's just kind of putting that shadow over you. As you walk up, you see that there are many other Aarakocra in very similar sort of garbs as the indigo one that is that you've seen earlier. And then you also see as you uh, as you start to kind of like climb up the stairs, it's very awkward. It's you, Eldrin, and this Kenku, because these Kenkus can't fly, that are walking up these steps and like very like Game of Thrones, like is it Pycelle? Is that his name? Like he's that Meister Pycelle. Like he's having a hard time because there's usually no need for steps for everyone. No one helps him. No one like does anything with that. As you guys are also just having like, because these steps are just giant. But you travel up. You see at the foot of the first like sort of base of where you're at. You can see your the same Aarakocra indigo. Indigo Aarakocra kind of like standing proud and tall, and you can see the mask that he's wearing has switched to this thing that looks to be even more like ritualistic. You see him kind of put up a hand and stops and goes, "Here you go," and then turns around and starts to walk down the steps.
Well, do they speak common or primordial or hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay, great. I don't know your customs, but thank you for letting us out and letting us talk to you. Should we bow? Should we?
Sorry, one second. It is custom to bow before the Tlatoani.
The what?
Tlatoani.
I assume that's nobility or lordship of some sort. King, perhaps?
Looks over. Yeah. Actually, looks over at Eldrin and goes, "A king."
Oh, okay. Well, yes. Okay. Well, great. Eldrin, come on.
And you continue. Unfortunately, you think like, okay, cool. There must be some sort of like space where we like go through an open door or whatever and like go inside. And you just see the Aarakocra kind of like take off and just fly up the pyramid, as knowing that you have to continue to go up the pyramid. Eldrin, who is considerably shorter than you, goes, "Guy, there's no way I'm fucking doing this right now. I can't."
I didn't take you for a quitter.
You
want to get on my back? I won't tell anyone.
I know you didn't just say that to me. Okay, fine. Yep. And continues to kind of move up with you. As you get further up, about another like 30 feet or so, you see the Aarakocra is waiting for you. As you see, it is like because that was probably really confusing. It is the same sort of deep indigo of the previous occupant that you can see. So actually, go ahead and roll me an investigation check or a nature check, either one.
Same for me. That's a 17.
17, cool. This one looks. It's hard to tell with bird people, but you notice that like this being looks to be. There's no other way to put this. It just like looks nobler. Like you see the mask sort of face, and you see the like feathers themselves. You can see that there's like just a slight there's a slightly lighter sort of color to them, but in a space that's almost like it's lighter, but it's also like the hue has been turned down a little bit. With a 17, you determine that this one must be related to the one that you saw earlier. You see. Go ahead.
I was going to say I would bow again and say, "We're here to see your king, if that's possible."
Tlatwani.
Yes, that one. I apologize. It's a new word for me.
Quite all right. There is one last set of steps. Apologies. If you are magical in any way to fly, now would be the time.
I am willing to complete the journey by any means necessary. This is very important.
Quite the man asked if you can fly. Like, now's the time. Like, is there anything? Is he called a Bahamut? Isn't Bahamut a dragon?
Yes. Bahamut wants us to complete our tasks ourselves, so as we can feel empowered and strong on our own.
I'm so tired.
Get on my back. I'll carry you. Like I carry you all the time
I'm not
anyway.
gonna do that.
Just like I carry this group.
Can I just wait down here?
I will never let you live this down.
Okay. Fuck it. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
That's an 18.
Lorian's screaming at the screen right now. 18? Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. All right. Okay. No, I'll go. Okay. All right.
But you can move faster than the old white one. I'm sure of that.
Takes one step up and goes, "If you care about me at all, don't tell anyone." As she puts her hands just around your neck, like. I'm serious, Guar. Don't say, especially not to Noros. Anyone.
Oh, this is perfect. I just keep going.
You got it.
Not a word.
I will say also for you, go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Sure. Okay, con save. That is another 17.
17, nice. With a 17, you managed to make it up top, and you're definitely winded. Like, but you're
Sure.
doing a good job of not showing it, just because it's really fun to pretend that you're good as you get to not necessarily at the top, but an area that does extend out seem to be pretty far. You see the shadow itself of the space. I would say you kind of take a look down behind you, and you can see you're easily like 100 feet in the air. You see this very long, kind of like luxurious sort of looking like red carpet that is actually extremely thin. Only like thin enough for like one person to be able to kind of like walk in order, and you kind of get the feeling like that's on purpose. And you see in the there is a shroud of like darkness in the shadow of where you're walking into, but you can see that there is a essentially like an Egyptian mirror that is pointing down up above, that is lighting just a figure that you see like a giant sort of like almost looks like a Native American headdress from your position, but it's about maybe like 30 feet away.
I say to Eldrin, stay behind me. And we walk in the single file line.
Okay. You notice that there are a couple of guards that are stationed on the side here. I'd say probably maybe like 3 or 4 as you kind of walk closer, and you see as you get about 20 feet. Let's say about maybe like 15 feet away. You see that the headdress is actually the plumage of this Aarakocra. You see there is a at least that's how it looks. You're not sure if it's a weave. You're not sure. It kind of comes out this huge sort of space, and you see this being looks like a very kind of a cross between like an eagle and a parrot. Like, imagine like kind of like the stomach sort of setting of the eagle, and but the bright colors of a legitimate like red parrot, like red macaw. You see them they're just kind of like they're sitting on like a pedestal sort of thing that is that does not have a back to it. Is essentially they're perched up on this piece here. Yeah, about 15 feet away, you see guards like shing, shing. You see like two very large how they kind of block your way and then pull them back and telling you like this is as far as you get.
So we stop. I kind of nod at the guards like, oh, okay, nice pieces right there. Okay, cool. And then I take a knee and bow the way you're supposed to bow. Don't take a knee. I bow the way I bow to the other ones.
You bow. You see no reaction from this this leader.
Can you say the word for me again?
Yeah, Tlatwani.
Tlatwani. Magnificent Tlatwani. I am Guaraman Amarth of South Imea. This is my associate, Princess Eldrin Enarath of Honoria. I take it you have heard the voice of Tal.
You see just blinking for a second. Doesn't seem like there's any sort of like understanding or reaction for a second. But then you see a familiar blue figure kind of soar out into the corner and just like kind of like plop down right next, and then just starts to kind of like seems to be interpreting. And you hear a response that is a very like deep throaty like like sort of like sound like coming from like the back of the throat, sort of an area where it's like it's weird because they're bird people like that stuff, but like you like in the way that we like humans consider like lower voices, like deeming a space of like, I mean in most cases toxic masculinity, but like that sort of like space of like power and control and whatever. That's what you get from this. You I will say you fully do get the feeling of like this is a the personification of a leader is surpasses all languages in your head in this moment, as you're clearly seeing like this dude's for real. As far as whether or not he's a good or a bad leader, the same. You hear that response, and you hear the bluer Aarakocras. Welcome. State your case. I'll pause you there. All right. Last but not least, Wilbur. So, Wilbur, coming to this weird sort of trance-like state that you're in, I'll kind of speed you along. You come down the stairs to Milo's family. At a certain point, you feel like you feel yourself kind of reaching out to the food as the plate that is in front of you, and you can see that your hands are halfling hands, and you're eating, and you're you don't hear yourself talking, but you're aware, you're in the presence of this, and it doesn't seem like you're able to actually change anything about this. It just seems like a memory that you're in. During this time, you hear something about from Milo's mother. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now. Rosie. You hear Rosie talking about that there's some commotion in the there's some sort of meeting that is supposed to be set up in the at the main building, essentially. And you hear Milo's father talking about like must be something to do with the disappearances. Maybe they'll finally figure out what's going on. And you Milo finish your food. Time continues on. I'd say it seems like it does seem like it kind of like speeds up in like this like kind of dreamlike state, and you find yourself in the midst of a yelling crowd as a bunch of a bunch of city guards are kind of standing on stage, trying to calm the crowd down. And it's a very weird and odd moment when you as Milo look across the crowd and see a very short-looking blue Triton with a. I mean, it's up to you, but I just imagine Wilbur's kind of just on her shoulders, especially like trying to see with a wombat on his shoulders. Yeah, you at this moment you recognize like what this moment is. This is a memory that, well, I don't know if I say as a character, I don't know if Milo talked about the idea of leaving memories somewhere. Does anybody remember if he had?
I don't know if he like outright said that.
Yeah, I get the feeling he didn't, because it might be.
I think he said something about like trading a memory.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you this just for the sake of time and energy here on this, because obviously Jamie isn't here. You recognize that as you take a second in your body as you kind of pull back, and you're kind of in this weird sort of limbo state in between, where you can actually like you can see the water, you can see Cerelius's face, and you can also see the memory that's going on at the same time, because you have that like crazy sight sort of thing. So I think that's kind of how we will play that. As you recognize that you're looking at the Rifu and Memoriam, the wall that's far, far, far down to the bottom. You at one point had killed a Merid. However, that was 150 years ago.
Or 150 years in the future.
Sorry, 150 years in the future, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you choose to exist through the rest of this memory, or do you continue to move forward?
I think I'll continue to move forward.
As you do, you find yourself kind of trying to pull off the wall, and you feel yourself stuck there. And you remember Milo's words were that he traded a memory.
So having just seen through Milo's eyes the image of Eldrin holding Wilbur up on her shoulders, Wilbur's memory that he will leave with the wall is I think it would be like, imagine like the camera is seen through Wilbur's eyes, just like rushing around on Eldrin's wedding day in his little seaweed grass dress, and telling people, this needs to go there, this needs to go there. Where's my mother? Where's everyone?
Awesome. As you are, and very much like we stated before, in the idea of like a candle lighting another candle, this memory doesn't necessarily leave you, but as you're feeling yourself giving this memory, you hear the soft whooshing of the seaweed skirt as you are rushing around. You hear it just as if you're there. As you hand it over to the wall, and the wall releases you. Everything okay?
Oh, are you awake?
Yeah, we like kind of we fell over for a second.
Oh. Oh, yep, we're okay.
How do I do this again?
Pretend that you're nestled up in a pile of clothing. Very soft clothing.
Out again. As you guys continue your journey south. Or like literally south, down. Um, you feel yourself after about 10 hours, I think. You feel yourself actually. The eyelids are kind of drooping, and there's a moment as your eyelids kind of like droop and drop as you realize, I don't know if I'm keeping concentration on this or not.
Gotta stay awake.
Hour 12. Actually, we'll give you every 3. Hour 13, give me concentration. Constitution saving throw.
Uh, 22.
Awesome. Hour 16, Constitution saving throw.
18.
Okay. 19. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god. 21.
Okay. 23. Constitution saving throw.
18.
Okay. You take 1 point of exhaustion.
Boo.
Hour 25. Hey, that could have gone much different. That was 4. Like, I think 4 is death, by the way.
Yeah.
Or no, 6 is death.
Yeah.
But 4, your hit point maximum would have been halved.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, you did good. So as you are just fighting to stay awake, and you actually kind of feel like now at this point, like at the space of like 24 hours, you can actually feel the like sort of sound of like the shield that you're having around, keeping the water out, is starting to kind of collapse because you are unable to really like keep yourself awake. 24 hours, you start to panic, because you don't know what's going to happen. That's when, in the distance, you see you see another creature come up from the depths. Has this like very like gray, slippery sort of gray, sort of textured skin. You can see this creature is actually bigger than the average size of this thing. Probably about maybe like 20 feet long. It comes up and like kind of moves alongside you and makes the same annoying sound that you've heard for like 6 weeks in a row, as you recognize it is the annoying dolphin that you heard outside of the castle every like 10 minutes. You see it recognize you as you're like starting to kind of lose your lose consciousness, honestly, in like in the space of falling asleep. What do you do?
Wilbur's gonna look at it and do his very best impression of it, noise-wise.
Okay, cool. Give me an animal handling check with advantage. You've heard it. You've heard that sound so many times.
24.
24. Nice. Oh my gosh, that's so good. You make that impression as you're like feeling yourself kind of like even like slipping off the saddle, so to speak. And you see the dolphin kind of move itself even closer to you, makes that sound back. As you notice that on this dolphin, you never noticed this before, whether it's just that like just recently put there or not, you notice that there's a saddle on the dolphin.
A saddle.
Mhm.
Does it look like it can hold 1 or 2 people?
Say it looks like it can hold one person, but you're desperate.
Ceruleus, wake up.
Hmm.
Wake up. You see this thing here?
Oh, okay. Yep.
All right, we gotta get on it.
Okay.
Okay, just
Just
you know,
throws his body onto the onto the like slippery part of it. Where do I hold on?
just hold on right here. As Wilbur like points out to like at the edge of the saddle, I guess.
The edge of the saddle. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
Grabs it. Okay. All right. I'm going to sleep. Do you get on the saddle?
Yeah.
Okay. As you get on the saddle, and you can feel yourself like it's taking so much energy just to even be able to kind of push yourself off one space and the other, and you kind of like throw yourself almost like what's the word? Side sitting.
Yeah.
Onto it, and you're barely able to kind of hold on before it takes off. You end up losing. You end up losing consciousness to the sound of ah! As you fully go out, and there's nothing. You eventually
just to be clear, was the screaming Ceruleus or me?
Yes. Ceruleus was trying to fall asleep and all of a sudden is now going a million miles an hour.
Well, now he's learned what one of those terrible falling dreams is like.
Yes, absolutely. You lose consciousness, and you gain it back as you open your eyes, and you feel yourself. You're kind of resting on this bed of like hay, or I guess it should probably be like seaweed or something like that. Oh come on, where are you at? It's been a bit. It's been a bit. I don't have to remember this anymore. Shit. As you see Noros's father peering down at you. Anybody remember his name?
Bolos?
Bolos. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, you see Bolos peering down at you going, oh, hey, you were on my dolphin. Welcome back. Look, I made a carving of you. And you just like, you feeling the space of where you're like in a safe space, you take that moment to just pass out again. As you see just a carving of Wilbur that's just made out of this like shale sort of thing. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Thank you.